Fox Nation's Moms comes to Fox News Channel Sunday with a can't-miss Mother's Day special.
Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez have a new proposal out. It's called the Loan Shark Prevention Act. Their bill would cap interest rates on credit cards at 15%. Well, for a lot of people, that would make a difference. The median interest rate on credit cards in this country right now is 21%, and some cards charge over 35%. Banks, meanwhile, can borrow money from the Federal Reserve at 3% interest. Do the math. It's a very good business. Now you know why they're always sending you those offers for new cards. They're getting rich from your debt. The bill would also apply the same 15% limit to consumer loans. It would ban, in effect, payday loans, those loans whose interest rates can exceed 500 or 600% every year. No doubt many Republicans in the Congress will oppose this bill, if only because of who sponsored it. Bernie Sanders and Ocasio-Cortez are obviously demagogues. They don't mean half of what they say. The other half they don't really understand. They're not impressive. But on this one issue, they are absolutely, indisputably right. There's a reason why the world's great religions condemn usury and why societies have restricted it for thousands of years. High interest rates exploit the weak. Credit card debt destroys people. Not just chronically irresponsible people, but good people, decent people, probably some people you know, maybe a lot of people you know. What the banks are doing is disgusting, and it's wrong. So the real question is, why did it fall to a couple of childish socialists to point this out? There's no reason that capping interest rates ought to be a left-wing issue. Most normal people agree with it, overwhelmingly. South Dakota, for example, it's one of the most conservative states in the country. In 2016, its voters went for Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton by 30 points. And yet those very same voters also voted overwhelmingly to crack down on payday loans and cap the interest rates on credit cards. Historically, fighting usury has been a Republican position. In 1991, Republicans sponsored legislation to cap credit card interest at 14%. That's lower than what Bernie Sanders is proposing right now. For perspective, President George H.W. Bush endorsed that bill, and the Senate passed it. So why isn't it the law today? Well, in the words of the Chicago Tribune at the time, quote, 5 days of intense lobbying by banking interests and a one-day plunge in the stock market killed the bill dead. After that, Republicans decided to cave permanently. They became the party of Wall Street. What's interesting, though, is that Wall Street is no longer Republican, not even close. Wall Street is the economic engine of the Democratic Party. Finance titans went overwhelmingly for Hillary over Trump in 2016. Chuck Schumer is their own personal senator. They all have his cell phone, trust me. Big finance is one of the most aggressively liberal sectors in this country. If you're watching this show, they despise you. That all became very obvious in the last presidential election. The only people who didn't get that clear message are Republicans in Washington. They're on autopilot, still siding with the big banks over their own voters. It's a lunatic strategy. It won't end well. What happens when you refuse to give people what they desperately need? They go elsewhere. Republicans should not be surprised when that happens. That's it for us tonight. The hour is